Right then, so we are underway here with the Motegi GP. We've been having some technical issues with drivers' mics. I apparently can't hear them, but...
What's up? Hey, can you hear me?
Apparently I can hear somebody that's not in for the Forza. Anyway, getting underway here. It looks like we are now underway. The race is going. We have a tight battle right now between BTR Villeneuve in 7th. Ooh, it's getting tight down into turn 5 here. Ooh, slight tap to XPR Roadrunner there between Johnny Two Shoes and XPR Roadrunner in that Ferrari. Qualifying was kind of insanity this week. We had the top 2 and then a 2nd to 3rd restricted Alex P. Looks like that's the way it's going to run right now as well.
All right.
Villeneuve looking to make another pass here. Turn 11. Not going to happen. Oh! Looks like it's that Bloody Cane trying to sneak up the inside there. We apologize that some of the liveries haven't loaded quite right, so I can't just visually tell you who each driver is. I'll take a quick look. That is our UK Shadow actually trying to peek around Villeneuve at the back here. Let's go ahead and switch views here back to the front. The battle between In Flames and Bulin. Looks like they beat the Bosch Tech Racing livery for this Bentley hasn't loaded, at least for me anyway. We've got a bit of a gap right now. What'll be interesting is whether either of these drivers want to finish on podium this race, with a Power Track Road America coming up next. Neither will be keen on collecting a power restriction, finishing on podium here. Alex P not far behind with a 5% in that Panos. This really is a fairly close race. Looks like BTR Blazin has gone up a position into 4th. Right around Johnny Two Shoes. Or I guess that actually would have been XPR Roadrunner fell back. Right now, XPR Roadrunner back 2 spots in 6th place behind Johnny Two Shoes. BTR Villeneuve not far behind. Our UK Shadow really did well for himself on that start, up from 13th. Looks like a maneuver might happen here. Yeah, our UK Shadow right now running 8th. That's 5 positions just in the first couple of laps here. There we see a good shot of that Ferrari F333SP livery. The AVR livery as well did not load. This is unfortunate indeed. These are some pretty stunning liveries, if I do say so. Go back with Alex P at the front here. Still very close to those front 2, which is surprising considering the 1 second gap in qualifying between them. BTR Blazin not far behind in 4th. We right on board with In Flames now. .139.172. Quite a bit, a full second off of his qualifying pace. We'll see what he gets here on the end of lap 4, 38.8, so certainly honing in, trying to get some laps in. Looks like BTR Snaky also had some issues off the start. Currently running 11th from 10th originally. This is such a tricky track because it requires kind of a good mix of both speed and acceleration. Acceleration, one thing that these Bentleys don't really have a whole lot of. That Ferrari, though, the only one really in here, is 5% power restricted, so you kind of see that nullified for this race. So perhaps only the power cars will be able to dominate here at Twin Ring Motegi. This is kind of the first time that In Flames and Bulin have had to battle, as the past two races Bulin Wall has been restricted to the point that there wasn't a battle between these two. In Flames been robbed of his previous two wins, first at Sebring with a sort of a spin out lock up into turn 1 at Sebring, put him into the wall and got some significant damage, ended up 5th that race. Right now he's running 2nd, qualified 2nd, looking good on at least staying with the leader here. Might be possible for a win here if that's really what he's wanting. He would face a 10% power restriction then at Road America. Last race at Hockenheim, he started from pole, ended up getting passed by FMS Senna on about lap 3 or 4, and then got trapped behind the two Ferraris of Serpent Racing for the majority of the race, and wouldn't get by them until about 8 laps to go in the race. Simply wasn't enough time to make up that gap to FMS Senna in the Mazda Lola. He finished 2nd there. So we'll see. This could be the first victory for In Flames, or maybe some strategy. Go back with BTR Blazin here. He's trying to reel in Alex, but really it's going to be difficult. BTR Blazin has no power restriction here, so it's just going to be a matter of skill trying to overcome Alex P. Both in the same car. 39.0, he does go fastest on lap 7 there. See Villeneuve and RUK Shadow not far behind from 6th place XPR Roadrunner here. XPR Roadrunner also ran his fastest of the race at 39.8, which is a bit off of his 39.2 that he ran in qualifying. So looks like the entire field here starting to pick up pace as these tires wear in. Now, under the regulation, they are required to do one mandatory pit stop, although in an hour-long race like this, it probably wouldn't be out of necessity. Why don't we go back and ride on board with BTR Snaky. No damage for him, but he is behind the two Caterham Team GB, that's XY101 and Scurry 76 ahead in the Peugeot 905Cs. Oh, looks like a pass here. Maybe not. Spoke too soon. It was just the angle. Man, it is close though. BTR Snaky all over the back of Scurry 76 as they go onto the front straight to complete lap 7. We'll see if they can. It does look like they're going to set their fastest here. 141, 122 for BTR Snaky. A bit off the leader pace, but nothing he can't work with there. Bloody Kane in 14th. I kind of wonder whether he incurred some damage. It looks like he did. 14% front damage on that Mazda Lola. There is the stunning Rising Sun livery. We'll see, perhaps it's Goddess just in front of him, Midnight Performance driver, that took the reciprocating damage. No, it was not. We'll switch to Magnum here. Really right on the heels of this battle for 10th between BTR Snaky and Scurry 76. If Snaky can get around that Peugeot 905C and then around the other 905C of XY101, he may be challenging for the next group up above ahead, which is the RRUK Shadow, BTR Villanov, XPR Roadrunner, and in front of that Johnny Two Shoes and BTR Blazin'. It is a bit of a stretch, but it is possible for him to... Oh, looks like he's going to try and make the maneuver. It's going to be bold. He gets the position. BTR Snaky goes through. Does he go a little bit too wide? Nope, he maintains the position. It's a great view back here from Magnum 278 on board. Question is now whether Magnum will be able to close the gap here to Scurry 76 and claim 11th for himself. Why don't we go back and take a look at the front? It is starting to space itself out. You can see now a noticeable gap back to Alex P. In Flames, not that far behind, but certainly a couple of tenths gap there. Just no mistakes from the Bulin Wall 5 here for Pennzoil-Zexel with a 138.691 from him. Let's take a look at what we got from In Flames. 138.872, so quite fast, 2 seconds difference between their best laps. Perhaps pit strategy will be where they... It doesn't appear that either are holding each other up, but perhaps pit strategy is what's going to play out for these two. To take a look here where BTR Blazin' is at. In the K-trim, the green and yellow. Still trying to stay within range of that restricted Alex. If he can get close, I think the draft benefit will help him get around Alex, and there will be little to nothing that Alex will be able to do about it. This is a very torquey car, though, so he's got to be careful about when to get on the throttle, lest it kick out. A huge gap now from 4th to 5th. 5th place, of course, being Johnny Two Shoes from Midnight Performance Development. XPR Roadrunner behind that in 6th. BTR Villanov behind that in 7th, still hot on his heels. We'll take a look at Villanov. Just under the bridge here for the oval course. Coming into the reverse 130R. And now into 7-8 here. This is a tricky set of corners that really does... If you can get this set of corners right, it'll really help your lap times. Down to the very slow 8 or 9 here, sorry. We go down into the hairpin for turn 10. Now, there's no way that this Toyota is going to be able to outbrake that Ferrari ahead, and will not be able to out-accelerate the Ferrari. So we'll see this gap grow here until the very end of the straight. Livery there, and that Toyota. Really not too far behind, though. Right on board with XPR Roadrunner again. See if he can't make something of this lap. Lap 10. What does he get for his lap time? 140.016, slowing down a bit, actually. BTR Villanov now looking pretty promising in this first sector of lap 11. We're now at about 1/4 distance. Let's go back and take a look at BTR Snaky now in 10th. We'll see if he can't make a maneuver here on XY101, who appears to be at least a bit ahead. Maybe a second or two ahead, going into 130R right now as BTR Snaky prepares to enter that same corner. It's going to really require some consistency, and it looks like he has it. BTR Snaky now at a 140.263. Not bad considering his qualifying at 139.704. So he's certainly getting close. Looks like some contact back there from Magnum and Scurry. Let's go take a look at that real quick. See if there was actually any damage incurred. Looks like none. It did cost him though. He was lined up well for that pass. Looks like it just upset the car enough that he could not make that pass happen. He is certainly being slowed up now by Scurry 76. You can see his best lap there, a 140.379, 141.472 right behind Scurry. So he really does need to get around him or duck into the pits. Right on him there, wow. He's got to be cautious about his braking points because the draft will suck in this car. This car is very aero dependent, so any loss of that via draft, which reduces front end downforce, will drastically affect braking distances. And we saw it at Sebring, where this same pair here, Magnum got sucked into the back of Scurry 76 down into turn 7, the hairpin of Sebring, although it's not a full 180 degrees. They call it the hairpin. Hopefully the same thing does not happen here. This is the heavy braking right here. Is he going to go for it? This is where the contact happened before. Doesn't, thinks better of it. Little tail slide there. Ooh, that costs him big. This is the battle for 11th here. We'll come back to this in a bit. Let's go take a look at the front again. Oh my. Looks like Bulin now in 3rd. It sounds like he is in the pits, yes. Chooses an early pit strategy. Although lap 11 was his fastest, a 137.975, just 0.05 of a second off of his qualifying pace. He ejects into 9th, right behind XY101. So BTR Snaky behind that in 10th. We'll see In Flames now takes the lead. We'll see what he can do without the pressure of trying to pass Bulin. Really sizable gap now to second, which is Alex P in the Aces Wild Motorsport Panos, with BTR blazing all over the back of him now. That should be an interesting battle. Let's ride on with BTR blazing right now. If he can get a draft here, which it looks like he has, he should be able to start closing this up, start stitching a pass together to go ahead and take that, what should be effectively a podium position. He's just got to keep it together here, keep with some consistency. A little bit of dirt there for Alex. That spells good news for BTR Blazin', or Jack as we call him. Whew. That is really close there. Why don't we switch to an onboard camera so we can get an idea how close this really is. Oh, he gets a good throttle point there. If he can hold on to it. Yeah, he had to let off just a little bit. Could have been on the throttle just a touch earlier there, but this is part of the racing that gets exciting. You know, the mistakes of others become the fortunes of others, so. Very difficult, turn 7 and 8. We come up into turn 9. This is really where he needs to catch him. These straights are where his full power versus Alex P's 5% restricted power will make all the world of difference. Bulin now around XY 101. Bulin sitting 8th. .117 from Jack here. He's going to have to do better than that if he wants to catch Alex P. Let's take a look at what Alex P's best lap is here. 139.6, so yeah, 4/10 quicker that lap than Jack behind him, a 139.1 for his best. It's just 0.2 off of his qualifying pace. Yeah, he has fallen back here just a bit. Let's go ahead and go back and ride on board with BTR Villeneuve, trying to chase down Serpent Racing's XPR Roadrunner, the only one of the two to race this weekend. Overdrive apparently missed the qualifying period. Not sure exactly what happened there, but sometimes that happens. Looks like Johnny Two Shoes really not all that far ahead of XPR Roadrunner either. A mistake from him, maybe a brake lock up into turn 10 here, or at some point during the race, could mean the difference of who's going to finish on podium here. It will be interesting to see which top drivers elect to fall back to not get restriction. Obviously, then the best spot to be is 4th position. If you're new to Formula Forza, you're not sure what I'm talking about with these power restrictions. First place gets a 10% power restriction. Second place and third place get a 5% power restriction. This is only for repeat podium drivers. So the first time you win a race or the first time you're on podium, you get an immunity, and then the second time, which all of our top 3 are currently, have already gone through their immunity, then you're starting to get into some strategy of, do I finish on podium this race, or is there a power track coming up that will really hurt me if I don't have full power? And the next track, being Road America, is one of the most power dependent tracks on the calendar, second to Le Mans at the season finale, the 11th race of the season. And he is so tight on him here that hasn't been able to get a clean lap in. You can see his best lap there, the 3:13 opener lap before the standing start. Oh, looks like actually Johnny Two Shoes, maybe BTR Blazin made a mistake. Just a minute here. I want to see what Midnight Performance driver Johnny Two Shoes does here. Now, last week Johnny Two Shoes was out. Team owner Midnight Racer X was in his place, ended up winning the Group B lobby. 39.402, very close to his best here. Still a little ways off of his just a tenth off of his qualifying pace, but you can see his best there at 39.234 actually does beat his qualifying, which was a 39.328, so beats it by a tenth, and with that means he's faster than the pole position from the 2012 season, a 139.300. It does appear that BTR Blazin has fallen back a bit. Last lap a 142.323. That could have only happened from an off. He must have gone off. The cameras did not catch it, but the damage to his lap time is significant there. He's still running third. Let's take a look at where previous race leader, the Bulin wall, is. He's currently in 8th. Let's see how he's doing tracking down 7th. Oh, he is all over him. Actually makes the pass now. He is now in 7th. Bulin wall gets around RUK Shadow in that Honda Lola. So he is clawing his way back up to the front after his mandatory pit stop. BTR Villeneuve next for the Bulin wall to overtake. He's running a little bit off pace. Last lap a 139.458 from his previous best 137.975, which is so close to his qualifying performance. They have switched back, it appears, to their original livery, which is the predominantly yellow with black and white as accenting colors, as opposed to the Hockenheim race where they sort of flipped the livery and went with a predominantly black with yellow and white. Alright, we're on board with BTR Villeneuve now, still all over the back of Serpent Racing XPR Roadrunner. We can see there Bulin wall coming just into view as they come down into the turn 10 hairpin. And now they're on the back straight, headed down to turn 11. This is the highest speed section of the course here, so that power-restricted Ferrari will be at a disadvantage. But man, his acceleration just helps him out of the corner so much that BTR Villeneuve really doesn't gain a whole lot. 147.39 last lap. Let's see what lap 18 does for BTR Villeneuve. 139.657. I believe that is his fastest for the race. Still uncertified though, and still about 4/10 off of his qualifying pace, a 139.3. I guess that's 3/10, isn't it? Let's see what we've got at the front. Is In Flames able to capitalize on this time? Yes, a best of 137.788. He's got to be kicking himself. That would have put him on pole and 20 points richer. 138.1 last lap, so at least getting some consistency, but a 137.7, that's the fastest lap of the race now from our race leader, In Flames. This is the time he needs to do it too. If he wants the victory here, he's got to do some bonsai laps while he is still out with Bulin wall trying to claw through traffic in the back. We'll see what he gets for lap 19 here. 137.891 also would have put him on pole. The pole position here was a 137.925 by the Bulin wall. Again, currently in 7th, trying to reel in 6th place BTR Villeneuve for LLBM Motorsport R1. But In Flames was unable to break into the 137s during the 3-day open qualifying, but apparently has no issue doing it under pressure in the race. 137.7 his best, 137.891 last lap. we are now halfway through this race. Let's look at how BTR Blazin K-Trim driver is doing, reeling back in. Yep, he is right back on pace. 139.3 last lap, best a 139.0. He is certainly trying to reel back in Alex P.
Hello? Hello? I wish I was. Is it on YouTube? Alright, I'll mute my mic. Just go back into my body.
Alright, sorry for that. This is an open lobby, so we do get people hopping in from time to time to watch the race, as BTR Kanan was unable to join the lobby. There is one place open. It's unfortunate that he was unable to connect to this race, as he did qualify quite well. He was in 11th position with a 139.7, just 4 thousandths of a second behind BTR Snaky in 10th. Let's see what BTR Blazin gets on this lap. Oh, it's going to be a little bit slower, 140.467. He's going to have to cut out those mistakes if he really wants to reel in second place there. Well, I guess first now. It does look like Alex has pulled into pit lane. Maybe that'll take some pressure off of K-Trim captain BTR Blazin here. We'll see where Alex comes out. Alex comes out 6th. That's Bulin now in 5th due to pits. It also looks like BTR Villeneuve has pit, comes out 10th. We've got XY 101 right now running 7th, not far behind Alex. Or, I'm sorry, running 7th, not far behind our UK Shadow. We are on board right now with the Bulin 5 as he tries to reel in handicapped XPR Roadrunner. It was probably a smart call on BTR Villeneuve to come into the pits. I have to imagine that Ferrari was holding him up. He was all over the back of him, and generally when you don't see a gap like that, or when you do see such a narrow gap, that you have to assume you're being held up and your laps are being sacrificed. 139.263, the traffic is hurting Bulin. It looks like he may try and make a maneuver here. Yep, a maneuver down into turn 1. They are side by side. Bulin takes the position. Looks like a bit of a scrape on the way out. Doesn't look like any damage though. He is now 4th place, the Bulin 5. This is really where he wants to be, a 139.0 last lap from the Bulin. In 4th place, that's the highest points you can get without a power restriction, and that's perhaps where what we're looking for, or that's what we're gonna see from the Bulin here. He does have Johnny Two Shoes not far ahead in 3rd in that Midnight Performance Toyota. BTR Blazin now in 1st due to pits. In Flames in 2nd. There must have been a mistake there. Yes, last lap 206. Either that was a mistake or that was such a flyer of a pit stop. Let's take a quick look. He did make his pit. So In Flames now 2nd. That's incredible. In Flames in 2nd has made his pit. That is a legitimate position there, and he's really not all that far behind BTR Blazin. He is booking now. This is great stuff, really. 141 on his outlap there. we'll see what happens. BTR Blazin, was he able to capitalize on his timeout? Well, he's been consistent, a 139.2. That's certainly certainly very close to his qualifying pace. His best there, a 139.0, is actually 0.2 faster than what he was able to accomplish during the qualifying period, the 3 days preceding this event. Onto the bridge now. It's not going to be very many laps before Bosch Racing's In Flames catches BTR Blazin here, as there's nearly a second difference between their pace. You can see him now coming out of turn 9 together. Johnny Two Shoes not far behind that. So effectively, with the pit stops worked out, it does appear that it is now In Flames first, Bulin second from this. Once BTR Blazin does make gets a little bit of dirt there, once he makes his pit stop. Looks like BTR Snaky has made the pass around Alex P in 8th. XY101 currently running 6th for K-Trim Team GB. We go ahead and go through the order. We've got BTR Blazin from K-Trim in first right now, yet to make a pit with 11% tire wear. Then we've got In Flames, who has pit in second right now for Bosch Racing. Johnny Two Shoes in third for Midnight Performance Development. The Bulin 5 for Pennzoil-Zexel in fourth. XPR Roadrunner from Serpent Racing in the Ferrari in fifth. XY101 for K-Trim Team GB in the Peugeot 905C. Alex P, restricted, now in 7th around BTR Snaky. Let's take a quick look at that. They must be battling it out. Yes, he just got around him there. We've got BTR Snaky in 7th for Bosch Racing, which now means that somebody else has come into the pits. What's that? That's XY101, came into the pits. He's now 10th. So we'll just go on from BTR Snaky here. We've got BTR Villeneuve for LOBM Motorsport R1 in 8th in the Toyota. Our UK Shadow for AVR. He's in 9th in the Mazda Lola. XY101, as we said, for K-Trim Team GB, now 10th after his pit stop. Magnum 278 in 11th for Jet Motorsport. Gadas de Plum in 12th for Midnight Performance. That's Johnny Two Shoes' teammate, back in 12th with the Toyota. We also have Bloody Kane in 13th for Rising Sun Racing in the Mazda Lola. In 14th, we've got Scurry 76 in the Peugeot 905C. That is XY101 teammate for K-Trim Team GB in the Peugeot 905C. We go ahead and switch back to the lead here and see how In Flames is doing on reeling in. Oh, he is definitely held up now, a 138.691. BTR Blazin, even though he has not done his pit, does not need to concede this position to In Flames. This is for position. Though I can't imagine there will be much struggle once he gets right up on him. Then really not, you can see the gap there. There's first, second, third, fourth, not far behind that. You saw them entering turn 9. Enter this last chicane here before the front straight. We'll see how In Flames is doing as we finish lap 25. 38.9. Slowing down, actually. It does look like he retakes the lead as BTR Blazing goes into the pits. Looks like we've got 2 more back there into the pits. Is that the Bulin wall we saw? Yes, the Bulin wall makes a second pit. Can't imagine. This must be strategy now from him to make a second pit to end up 4th in the race. He is all but handing the race to In Flames now. We've got Johnny Two Shoes now up into 2nd, still yet to make his pit stop. You can see there with the 12% tire wear. Typically what you see is the number of laps divided by 2 is roughly your tire wear, and you can see we're on lap 26, his rear tire wear there, 13%. So you can see it does work out there. Maybe he's being a little bit more smooth on his tires than most would. But yeah, we're certainly waiting for him to make his pit here before we know what the rolling order is. Let's look at how far BTR Blazin is behind Alex, who's now regained 3rd position. Looks about the same gap. If anything, BTR Blazin has made up at least a little bit of time here from his pit stop. You can see Alex trying to get some weaving back and forth there, trying to get some heat back in the tires after his pit. A little bit of a dirt brake there from BTR Blazin, but that is not that is unregulated for Formula Forza. So if you can manage the grass brake, dirt brake, I guess more power to you. It's kind of a risk and reward thing though, as if you can get it wrong, it'll pull you into the dirt and make you significantly slower. Perhaps that's what made BTR Blazin lose those precious seconds a few laps ago. I guess that was mid-race ago, I guess. BTR Snaky now up into 5th with the Bulin Wall 5 all over him again. I guess not all over him. Got a bit of a gap here, but I don't expect that to last for terribly long, as Bulin's raw pace is just incredible. Let's take a look at BTR Villadome now. Appears to have lost some time here to the Serpent Racing Ferrari of XPR Roadrunner ahead. Let's see how far back our UK Shadow is. Not terribly far back. It does look like he's picked up some damage though, 19% on the front. That's not going to help him at all. He must have just picked that up, as his lap times are not yet off his best pace. 139.926 was his best in qualifying. You can see here, certainly helped by the pressures of racing. He's a 139.466 in the race. That power, or the downforce at the front damage you see there, 19%, doesn't appear to have really affected him at all, as he's still running times very close to his qualifying pace. Doesn't appear to be anybody behind him either. Got XY101 in 10th behind him. We'll go back to BTR Blazin here in 3rd, trying to hunt down 2nd. As he feathers the throttle through turn 10 there, trying to ensure a good exit with minimal tailspin, or tail kick out, I suppose. little bit of sand kicked up there from the rear of Alex P. As they go through the final chicane to finish lap 28. They are on the lead lap. There's no lap down traffic as of yet. 139.5 from BTR Blazin', so at least consistent, but not quite on the same pace as his best. Alex P, that last lap, 141.135. So either he has made some mistakes or something is going on with his car. His temperatures seem to be in range here. His tires just haven't quite got back into the sticky zone yet at 4%. There's a perceived but unproven sticky zone in these race tires that last somewhere between 5% and 12% wear. Between those ranges, some drivers experience claim, a bit of an off there from Alex P. Some drivers claim that between those ranges, the tires actually will give you more grip than usual. Down the back straight here, 190 nearly before hard on the brakes into turn 11. A little bit of another off there from Alex P. A few more of those and BTR Blazin' will have him as they enter the final chicane again for lap 29. Let's take a look to see if we can't figure out how far ahead In Flames is from this race here. Oh wow. Okay, so they are about 15 to 20 seconds back. So In Flames seems to have a clear lead here, and with 11 laps to go, an almost certain victory. It does look like the Bulin wall did get around Johnny Two Shoes as he made his pit. Johnny Two Shoes now 5th. We'll see what the gap is here to XPR Roadrunner. There he is. That is a significant gap, though. Looks like Johnny Two Shoes should be safe, barring any mistakes from the Midnight Performance driver. .138.065. Consistency is key here. 10 laps to go. In Flames looks all but certain victory as he enters the back straight for lap 31. We'll ride back on board with BTR Blazin' in this battle for second. The Bulin wall not far behind. He has made his strategy work as he is back in 4th, the position he certainly wants to be in if he doesn't want any power restriction at Road America, the very next race, the American GP. The second highest speeds on the calendar are achieved on that back straight at Road America. A full 20 miles an hour faster, 20 to 30 miles an hour faster than are seen here at Twin Ring Motegi. The fastest point being the one we just passed there down into turn 11, about 190, 195. We should see somewhere between 215, 220 miles an hour on the back straight of Road America. BTR Blazin or Jack now under pressure with the Bulin wall, but really it should be just perceived pressure, as the Bulin wall really is not going to want even a 5% power restriction unless he can really capture some big points here and pass both of them in the next 9 laps. 5% power restriction really wouldn't be too bad, and with In Flames being with 10%, Alex P, if he remains on pole here, will have 10% at Road America. So perhaps that changes things in his book for, you know, what strategy to take here. We'll see how much pressure he really gives BTR Blazin over third there. If he takes third, we have to assume he's going to want to get by both. See if Scurry 76. It does look like he was involved in a collision, but didn't really pick up too much damage. This has happened before. He has 17% side damage. He picked up some side damage when Magnum 278 rear-ended him at Sebring. It was kind of the oddest thing. He gets rear-ended and gets side damage. But I suppose that's... Whoa! Some lag there from Scurry 76. Is that, with Scurry 76 being 14th, this could be the first time he's going to get lapped here. Yes, by In Flames. That is In Flames right behind him. Shouldn't take long. He does need to concede his line. Could happen on this next straight here. He is lapped down traffic, so he'll have to move over and not battle for position with In Flames here. The gap is massive though, so In Flames will not want to be really that bold. Some visual lag there, again, from Scurry 76. That's got to really make In Flames nervous if he's seeing that. Right on board with the race leader here, In Flames. Certainly held up a 139.566 running behind Scurry 76, so he's going to have to make this pass happen or risk losing that gap he's built. Jeez, a slide out from Scurry 76, still not conceding his position. This is almost a nightmare scenario. He does finally concede the position into the hairpin, as In Flames gets around him and now can run some clean air before coming up the back of, let's see, who is 13th? Bloody Kane for Rising Sun Racing. Oh, the cameras missed it. BTR Blazin did get around Alex P. There must have been an off. Maybe not. With BTR Blazin currently 140.291 his last lap. No damage. So there wasn't a collision. Perhaps it's Alex P trying to drop back and hand a restriction to the Bulin wall, which probably will not work out so well. 141.617 from Alex P. So for sure, there was an off or some sort of mistake there. Finishing as is, this will be best result for BTR Blazin in second for Caterham R1. The fact that Bulin has let up significantly tells me that he really does want to finish here in 4th place to all but guarantee victory at Road America. Very safe, cautious lines there from the Bulin wall, and maybe earlier when Alex P was swerving back and forth, maybe that was less of trying to get tires up to temperature and more of trying to lose some of that gap without just totally letting off the throttle, but who knows. We'll see what Villeneuve is looking like on Serpent Racing. It's still a close race, but he did manage to get in some clean laps in that pit delta. Still all over the back of XPR Roadrunner there. With just 6 laps remaining, this is going to be a difficult one to pull off, as this battle for 6th here has been raging for the entire race. .226 from BTR Villeneuve. Ooh, bit of a tail slide there. Let's see how much of a gap is. Geez, BTR Blazin not even on the radar. There he is, way ahead. Now in turn 7 and 8. Another 141 from Alex P. He wants Bulin to go by. You got to think that. Alex P. has been restricted since his performance at Road Atlanta. So Sebring, Hockenheim, both restricted. Still restricted here. We'll see what happens. Can't imagine that he wants to run Road America with restriction, but points are points. You know, you could do all this strategy of trying to set up, you know, a race where you're running unrestricted power and you know, sacrifice a all but certain podium or maybe second here for Alex to try and set up that race where you don't have power restriction, and then perhaps a mistake or a wreck or some other event that causes that plan to go sour. So generally you see drivers running with an attitude of take the points when you can get them, let power restrictions be what they are. But who knows, these guys are much more in control than any drivers we've seen in the past, so perhaps they can convert and execute those plans to perfection. Now if they do work out, some of those strategies will really play into their hands for the team and driver championship. You know, 11 races long, if you can get power restrictions on the tracks that really don't matter that much, say Silverstone and the grip tracks that are coming up, then you know that's certainly much better than having power restriction at, say, Road America or the season finale at Le Mans. Let's ride on board with In Flames and see how he's doing tackling lap down traffic. Looks like he has gotten around Bloody Cane, he's now closing in on 12th place Goddess de Plum and is back on pace of 138.567. Not his complete raw pace, but doesn't need to run that to ensure victory here. So I guess suppose the worst thing to do would be to run, just bonsai laps and then collect damage and miss out on victory. So he'll go from 5th place in Sebring to 2nd place at Hockenheim. We see Goddess there pulling off, allowing In Flames to get by to potentially a victory here. And this will mean a lot for Bosch Tech Racing, their first win of the season, if In Flames can finish out the last, 3 laps here as soon as he crosses the line for this lap. BTR Blazing in 2nd. That's going to mean a lot for K-Trim R1. And that will also mean their first podium of the season, which will certainly be a personal victory for them. Let's see how XPR Roadrunner is doing, trying to track down Johnny Two Shoes. He's got a ways to go yet and really isn't running super consistent laps. We're at a 140.695 with this power restriction. Maybe it's just this lap we're seeing, but oh wow, BTR Villeneuve all over the back now. Maybe can make this pass happen. He's certainly got the draft here. As they go down into, yep, you can see him gaining. As they go down into turn 11 here, XPR Roadrunner got to be feeling the pressure now, but also not a driver that cracks under pressure. So this will be a great battle right to the very end here as we finish up lap 38. It's a 39.5, actually better than his best there, but uncertified because of the drafting Villeneuve behind him. So certainly has picked up the pace under pressure from LOBM Motorsport R1 driver BTR Villeneuve. Villeneuve's teammate, BTR Raikkonen, just barely missed out on making Group A by what appears to be, yes, a tenth of a second would have put him into Group A. It's disappointing on one hand, but hopefully he can bring home victory in Group B, which has its own podium. No power restrictions for Group B, but still just kind of a moral victory there for Group B podium winners. They also get bonuses credit bonuses for winning Group B, or just finishing in the top 5. Now this Ferrari can't quite break, I mean just barely crest 700 horsepower versus the Toyota of BTR Villeneuve here. You'll see go, he must be using a grip build, does not crest 700 horsepower either. Right there with him though. Both of these drivers, if they had finished both of these drivers do have their immunity already used. So these drivers, well, in fact, XPR Roadrunner has restriction at this race. So, yeah, certainly they're going to be contenders for the driver championship overall as well. Just 2 laps to go now. Bosch Tech Racing now on the last lap, 137.984, right back at just the screaming pace he's had pretty much the entire race. A well-deserved victory for Bosch Tech Racing and In Flames. It's been kind of a long time coming, and now BTR Blazin at 139.5, also kind of back on it. only 2/10 off of his quickest in qualifying, 5/10 off of his quickest in the race. And he now begins his last lap of the race as well, 39.4. So he's picking up pace. We'll see how the Bulin wall has moved into third position. This will be interesting. Alex P has successfully handed off the podium position to the Bulin wall. Johnny Two Shoes, oh wow, there goes Bulin wall off. That has got to be planned. He wants to hand off. Yep, he is now fourth position. Johnny Two Shoes moves up into third place. Neither of them want that power restriction. Now, both of these guys are going to try and hold on to their fourth and fifth place positions. Jeez. Oh, we got collision here. Light taps between XPR Roadrunner and Villeneuve. Right at the end, this is pretty fantastic stuff here. Well, after an hour and 10, for these drivers to be this close, strategy or no strategy, this is some great racing, really. And this is it for the win. In Flames has taken it. BTR Blazin second, Johnny Two Shoes third, Bulin wall fourth, Alex P fifth, XPR Roadrunner sixth, BTR Villeneuve seventh. And we'll get our UK here in eighth. Looks like some pretty massive post-race collision there. We'll have XY101 ninth there. BTR Snakey 10th. Magnum 278 looks to be, yep, there he goes, 11th. That's going to be good points for Jet Motorsport for them. Got us to Plowman 12th. He is finishing up his lap, coming onto the main straight now. And he does go 12th. Bloody Kane behind him in 13th. And behind that, Scurry 76th in 14th. Thanks for watching, guys. In 2 weeks, we will be at Road America, so join us there, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.